everybody, I'm Leon Williamson, this is Bionic Cat Blacksmith. Welcome to Man vs Forge, and today, none shall pass! I have had the absolute pleasure of making this amazing Sorcerers staff out of solid 1-inch steel with a beautiful obsidian crystal in it, copper collars, and a whole lot of polishing and welding. Bless the gentleman who I've been doing it for, he has been incredibly patient, which I've been unbelievably grateful for, because it's meant that we've been able to spend a lot of time going through a lot of versions and a lot of bits and pieces that went wrong. So I want to show him now exactly where the benefit of your patience is. So let's go through this bit by bit, Right then, boys and girls, let's go through all 6 foot of this beauty. We started off with a solid piece of 1-inch square stock, which we then, bearing in mind that everything I do is in a small forge and by hand, we obviously first of all tapered down to a point before heating gradually, section by section, and twisting. Now that was where the first cock up came, because the first one we actually managed to shear off the end down here, purely through not getting a temperature right the way through it. So we started again and we tapered yet another piece and we then twisted section by section, bit by bit, right the way up. Right, we then, on the original one, we took this inch bar, we split it 8 ways, because the original plan was to do much the same as I do in a Sorcerers one to mine, a normal basket twist, and whilst it was cold, fit a crystal in and gently tap it shut. This, as we can show now, was not that feasible. Let me run out here 1 second through the mess and grab this pile of nonsense. Right, we'll start off with number 1. So we took the staff, we put it into a hexagon, and we then cut through to make a basket twist. Now the issue here was, as we found out, there was no way to close it back up comfortably with the thickness of the steel and not shatter the crystal inside. So we found this out obviously by shattering the crystal inside. We then decided, let's move on and make another piece, just a separate piece that we can put around it, which we started on and then realised that there was no way that would look nice around it, because there just wasn't enough steel. So rather than using 4 tines, we decided to use 6 tines, which, as you can see, went so much better. Having realised once again that there was no way we could get that to look nice, I went back to the drawing board and decided to use 4 separate pieces, which we welded together at the bottom, split into an X shape, put something the size of the crystal, which just happened to be a right big chisel, in the middle of it. We then bent the X shape back round the chisel and made it into a cylinder around it pretty much, which we then had to close the top up from, twist it shut so that it was around the chisel. From there we had to cut the entire thing open at all 4 points, top and bottom, to take said chisel out and to take the pieces apart. From there on we could put the pieces back together with the crystal in the middle, weld the ends back together, weld the entire thing together, and then put on these lovely copper collars, which I am particularly happy with. Got to love a little bit of shiny copper after all. So we then started to clean it up, and we quickly realised that what we normally do with a wire brush on steel just wasn't going to cut it through how thick some of the fire marks and how thick the scale was, and the original industrial scale as well. So we ended up having to go over the entire piece by hand because of all the little twists and whirls in it. We had to go over the entire thing by hand to sand it down with a couple of grades, to take it to the buffing wheel with a couple of grades, to get this lovely shiny finish on it. Now we deliberately made sure before we started polishing it, that we had left on just enough hammer marks and just enough sand marks to make it look nice and old before we polished over them. So it's got more of that look of something old that has been well loved and polished than something brand new and gleaming. Right, and of course inside there then we have a lovely octagonal obsidian crystal, which is all held in by copper wire work, which holds it just far enough away from all the steel so it doesn't bounce against it and doesn't have a risk of shattering whilst it's being walked with. And there we have it, Bionic Cat Blacksmiths brand new giant Sorcerers staff. There you go, you even got some focus for it. Right, thank you all very much. To the client who this is, I really hope that you like the looks of this. I hope this is everything you've been waiting for, and I look forward to hearing from you. Right, I'm Leon Williamson, this has been Bionic Cat Blacksmiths. You're watching Man vs Forge. Thank you very much. Good night.